All right, so Mastering Command today is going to be about direct mail and mail campaigns, and basically us as real estate agents, how we send postcards out to different groups, out to different neighborhoods, and we can talk a little bit about doing both. I'll show it to you. It's not really all that in depth. It probably won't take a super long time. I'm working with two screens, so if I look up to the left, that's where I have all of you. And then I have Command in front of me. So if I'm looking that way, that would be why. All right, so we'll start. This is your home page. We're gonna go down to campaigns, which is the little horn down here with the person next to it. All right, so up at the top, it'll tell you what your performance is on what you have spent, and anything in campaigns, this is a total. So I sent out a mailer and did a Facebook ad campaign. So that's those two. This will tell you where you're at with your leads in your system on target to your goal. And this will show you your connected accounts. We're gonna go up here to direct mail. So click on direct mail. It shows you I have 3 drafts and then one that I actually mailed. It mailed, it says June 4th, it's the 8th. So probably in mailboxes at this point. You also will have the option, I'll show you, that you can send one to yourself as well to make sure that you get it, see what it looks like. You can touch and feel it. So we're gonna go right up here to create new campaign. You're gonna choose direct mail. It'll make you enter a name. So we'll say, we'll do a test. And then what our goal is. So most of the time, if you're sending out a campaign, it's probably going to be either advertise a listing or attract buyers. It could be for an event if you wanted to do something around an event to your database, or if you wanted to get really detailed to have like a mega open house, you could do one of these really nice for an open house, possibly. All right, so we're just going to choose advertise listing, make it simple. And then you have 2 options here. You can do the default templates provided, or you can upload a custom template. Now, if you choose upload a custom template, you would have need to already gone into designs and designed that before you get to this point. If not, you can just use the default template. There's 4 to choose from. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like and what you can do. So you're going to, we'll click default templates and then set up campaign. So it's going to immediately ask you for a listing, right? So you can choose one that you have on the market. I have 3 right here. I'll use Ethan Brooks, so let's select that one. By the way, you can always hit change to bring that screen back. You can look at all the different statuses of your listings. You can go to all and see all. You can also doesn't have to be your listing, right? Like I said, if you wanted to do an open house, possibly for somebody else's, you could click on all listings. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have a lot of different opportunities in here. And this system will actually allow you to look up listings inside of the Keller Williams listing service in the entire United States. So there's plenty to choose from in here. I'm going to go back and choose that one. So we have our listing. It'll put most of this in here for you. Just verify, like for instance, the state isn't in there. So we'll make sure that that's in there. Listing price. Listing status. So this will add it to the card. So here's your templates over here. We'll look at those in just a second. If you want to leave this empty, you can. So for instance, you could send out a property postcard, maybe with a price adjustment or something different where it wouldn't actually have to say just listed, just sold, or coming soon. So that's an option for you. We'll make this a just listed. So we'll say it's just listed. It'll have you do the bedrooms and bathrooms. So this house was 5 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. Now it has a description on there. It's going to automatically pull your description from the MLS. Okay. So we're going to go back. It'll ask you to choose one of the listing photos. So it'll pull all of your listing photos that are already here. So you can choose one. Now, if you'll see, this happens most of the time when I do this. The listing photos that are sized for the MLS are actually downsized a lot of time from the actual size of the photo that's taken by the photographer. So in this case, it actually says, hey, this is a low resolution picture. You know, we want it to be 1200 by 1800. So you'd actually need to go and find a different photo. So just make sure that you have, I'm not sure who you guys get your property photos from, but it's a good idea to get them full sized and MLS sized. I know I get them that way. So for instance, this is going to pull what's in the MLS. So you may have that issue a lot as far as this system is concerned. So just always make sure you have a copy of the photos. It's going to give you every photo, by the way. So you can go through and pick a different one, like choose the pool, right? Or you can add photos like we're going to do. So you're going to hit upload and replace image, and we're going to see if we can't find an image that will actually work for that size.
Hey, Aaron, just FYI too, it seems like when I've done this myself, I've always had to take the picture and put it into Paint and resize it myself because it's been hard for me at least to find pictures that fit it. So it'll work.
Yeah, they're very specific. So like I know when I get mine, I get, like for instance, this folder right here is big, and then I get small for MLS as well. So like these are large size photos. So I'm gonna pick a photo just to for the sake of time on a different property. Okay, so I'll open that up and see that works. So it's a big enough photo. You don't have the little disclaimer up there anymore. So just kind of have that in the back of your mind that you will need a larger size photo. You can do it just instead as well, Paint, or you can resize a photo on Canva as well. If you just put it in there, you can change the size and re-download it if you do run into that issue. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go with that photo. You'll hit save. Right, so and we'll go down to the next one. And by the way, even if there's a check mark on these, you wanna check the information on every single one of these. The last thing you wanna do is mail out 200 postcards and something's incorrect. So we'll already have my photo in here. It has my name, my email, my phone number. All of that looks good. So I'll save that. And then Market Center. All right, so it'll have the Market Center name. It does not have the address. So I'm gonna add the address. Okay, zip code. Now, it's gonna ask you right here to put in your DBA logo. Now, if you have a team logo or a group logo or your own individual logo, it won't allow you to do more than one in the template that's provided. So if you desire to have both logos together, you may need to create one where they're side by side or one above the other, or you may want to go in and design your own mailer and then upload a custom design if that's what you should choose to do. And so I will, let's see if I can have a logo in here fairly quickly. There we go. All right, so Keller Williams, Southern Nevada. So I have that logo in there. So go ahead and hit, it'll ask you to verify the address. So it'll give it to us corrected. Go ahead and hit confirm. Okay, so we have everything so far. Now it's gonna say targeting. Now here's where you can choose on who you're sending this to. If it's anything in the neighborhood specific, you always wanna choose local targeting because it'll target the location nearest of the property that you chose. Or you could actually choose to target your database. And then you can go in to add contacts. Okay, you could select all and add it to every contact that you have that has a address. As you have, if you'll notice, it doesn't select them all. It's only gonna select the ones that have addresses. So you can do it that way. You can also do it by tags. So for instance, if you wanted to send a card to just your buyers or just your sellers, or, you know, just your investors, whatever it is, you can do that as, or maybe just past clients would be a great one to invite people to an event, something like that. All right, so that's how you do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and leave local targeting as if we're sending a just listed postcard. So I'll hit save. And now you can go to budget. This isn't really too big of a deal. When you get to the next screen, you can change the amount that you send. So don't get caught up on this. The one thing that you do need to make sure though is that you have everything you want on the card before you go to step 2, because it won't allow you to go back and change it. You'll have to start over. All right, so we'll leave it as 200. We'll leave it as first class. Let's hit save. Now let's go up here to the right. So it says postcard template. So you can preview the postcard right here. Right now we just have the first one chosen. So let's hit preview. It'll show you what the front will look like. It'll show you what the back will look like. Okay, so I would encourage you to go in, check each one. This is the one that I sent. So this is the second one. This is front and back. Now you don't have any control where things are placed on here because they're already templated for you. So if you're, like I said, if you're particular about where things are going to be placed, then you may want to design a couple of your own that you can just keep reusing. That might work for you better. So front and back, then you can go and select the third one. It'll give you the sizes too, 4x6, 6x9, 6x11, 6x11. You'll notice they're all different prices as well. As it gets larger, the price goes up. Okay, so we can check this one, just listed, and then the back. And then I'll show you the last one. Okay, so those are the 4 that they have for you if you didn't want to do any extra work. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose the second one. I think that's the one that I generally like the best anyways. Now you can go, now that you know, the reason it's nice to go in here is because now you know where the words are going to be. You know where your description is going to be. So now you can change that to say whatever you want. Describing to the neighborhood what's in this specific property may not be the best use of your postcard. Something as in like, hey, would you like to know the value of your home? Call us today could possibly be better. So it just depends on what your goal is with it. So if you go back to listing details right here, this box is where you can basically write anything you want. All right, so just keep that in mind. You could take out basically everything after the title, and we can make up like so we'll say beautiful pool and spa, full RV parking, oversized bedrooms, whatever it is you want it to say. And then down, underneath, we could put something such as giving the value of your home. Call us today. All right, so we'll save that. Now it'll give you the option for a QR code right here that you can put on the postcard. So if anyone were to take their phone and scan that, you can send them to any landing page you should choose to send them to. Okay, so if you have a website that's set up that you want to redirect them there, you can. If you want to direct them to download your app, you can. If you want to send them to a landing page that tells them all about this specific property, then you can. Just need to make sure that you're going in and creating those landing pages first so that you can send them there, okay? It doesn't cost you anything, by the way, to put a QR code on there. So I'm not really sure why you wouldn't do it. If even one person scans it and finds you, it's probably worth it. So you will have to select a landing page. So this will be anything you've created. You can link them to different pages on your website. This is one I made for the postcard I sent on Riva de Fiore. And then you can always do your homepage or download your app. Those are always options that you can do all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a page that I created for a property. All right, so now you can go back and look again. And you'll see that everything I put in that description box, do you see how it's all bunched up right here? Don't worry about that. However you spaced it in the description box is how it will look once you go past this page. I know it's kind of weird, but it will work itself back out to the way that you put it on there. So just trust that it will look okay when you get to the next page. All right, so once you're ready and you feel comfortable with it is when you'll want to hit step 2. Once you hit step 2, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to create this campaign? Because once you hit yes, you no longer get to view these options anymore. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit yes. And then it's going to automatically bring you a map and show you exactly where it's going to send your postcards. So this part is pretty cool because you can actually manipulate where they go, how many people they go to. You can zoom in or out on the map to see. All right. And you can actually check each one. You can check the address and make sure, do I want it to go there? All right, so now you can also change in here what you're targeting. So you can change the number of homes you want to target. You can drag this thing, or you can simply just click in here and I could go to 300 if I wanted to. And then it'll automatically update and show you how many. So now it's bringing in this neighborhood as well. I could do single family only. That way I make sure it's not going to, any condominiums or townhomes. I could do only multifamily if I didn't want single family, or I could just select all. Right? You can do bedrooms. So I could do, I only want houses from 3 to 5 bedrooms. You can drag that all the way down, 2 to 5, 2 to 6. And that will change who you send them to. Square footage, the same. Change the square footage. You can change when it was built. Wow, there's houses from 1800 on here. So that'd be interesting. Year last sold. So you can, for instance, if they just sold their house within the last year, maybe you don't want to send them the postcard. Maybe you only want to send it to people that have sold before 2018. And then you can select the price too. You have standard and first class mail. Does anybody know the difference between standard and first class mail? I don't have a perfect answer. I was hoping somebody else would answer. I believe first class mail will get there in a couple days, and I think standard takes as long. But if you're sending it from Vegas to Vegas, I don't think you're going to have too big of an issue. It goes through the post office, so it'd be easy to do. Plus, I think first class is like 20 or 30 cents more expensive. So just stick to standard. Right here, it'll say send copy to company address. You can go over the little information button here and check to make sure where it's going to go. So it's going to come here to Keller Williams, Southern Nevada. If you select that, you'll see it'll increase your total 79 cents because it's going to send you one extra one as well. I would always check that box. You want to make sure that these things are being sent if you're spending money on them. So receiving one would be a big deal to me. Okay. So the other thing you can do is, let me scroll to the top. You can recenter to the map so you can get where you need to be. You can also draw. So let's say, you know what, I want very specific. Like I want to do the neighborhood where the house sits, right? So I can pick this. I can start here, and I don't want to send it to anybody that doesn't know, not within the gated community. So I'm just going to send it right here. Okay, so now I know if I just did the community, I'm going to send it to 97 homes, all within that gated community, and it's going to cost me $77. So you can pick and choose, right? Do you want it to go out to a certain number of homes, or do you want to specifically target that neighborhood? The one that I sent was in a guard gated golf course community, and there's like 1,000 homes. So I just chose the 200 closest to the subject property. So, because it was the investment that I wanted to make. All right, so you're there. Once you feel comfortable with it, we'll just leave it as in the neighborhood, right? So 97 homes, we're comfortable with that. We have a copy coming to us. You're gonna hit next. And then this is where you pay. It will create your preview for you. This will show you, it takes a minute to load sometimes, but this will be able to show you the description you created, and whatever spacing you chose in that box will show up on the back of the card correctly, even when it didn't on the preview. Okay, so it'll kind of tell you what's going to happen. It's going to process the same day if it's before 3. It'll go through the United States Postal Service, and your estimated delivery is approximately 7 to 14 business days after you order it. All right, so keep in mind, if it's something their time is of the essence and you want to pay for it, you can always select first class mail. It will get there within 2 days. Let's see if we have our preview. Okay, so now we have our preview. You can hit view a larger preview right here. Now you can see the front, and you can see the back, and then it spaced it the way that we had written it on the first page. So it looks much more pleasing to the eye now. You can put any information you want here. I mean, it's, you know, whatever you want to do. So if you'll see, this is the Keller Williams Southern Nevada logos right here that we added. If it's important for you to have your company logo or your group logo, you may want to design something where they either sit side by side, or you actually go into designs and design your own, because it only allows you, for whatever reason, to put one logo on the template. All right, so we'll go back. All right, now that you've made your target, you're going to hit make a payment. And it will go up. So my card is already saved in here. So if I wanted to pay, I could order them. I'm not going to. Real Mailers is the company that partners with Command, through Command. So if you wanted to, for instance, go to realmailers.com and look at what they have to offer, you can. But I mean, the reason really is to go through the system we already have. So that's there for you. All right, I'm gonna go back. All right, so you'll see once you're here, you can't go back to step 1. That was kind of the point I was making. I can't go back and edit it again. I'm kind of stuck. So if I went back to direct mail, it would just say, will not be saved or activated. Go ahead and hit yes. And it'll just have it as a draft, okay? So let's say I wanted to go back in and edit the draft. It will only let me go as far back as the targeting. So you'll just remember, anything on step 1, you're gonna have to restart and start from scratch and do over again, okay? So that's direct mail. The only other thing you will want to use is designs. So designs is like the little sketch pad looking logo here on your left. And you can do different designs. You could do print. You probably want to choose print. Now, if you choose print in designs, you want to make sure that you are choosing the same sizes for anything that you're going to send. So it was 4x6, 6x9, and 6x11. So if you're going to create postcards, right, they have postcards here, large postcards, standard postcards. Make sure they're the right size. because if you do all the design and you go to load it in there and it's a different size, it won't let you do it. So we would want to choose listings, just listed. We can go standard postcards. Let's see, we chose this one. All right, so this is your design. This is what they have so far. Put that back down. If you wanted to add your listing, you need to go over here to KWLS, search for a listing. By the way, the order that these are in, for whatever reason, does not make total sense to me. So if anybody has any information on that, please let me know. Otherwise, you're just going to go down until you find the one you're looking for. Hit select, and it will bring up all the photos for you to use within your design. It will also bring up all of the listing details that you can use within your design too. Okay. So these, basically, you can just click on it and drag the text already written right into your card. All right. So let's say we click on this photo. Right, click on that photo. If we come over here, we have a plus and a replace. So as long as you're clicked on the photo, I could replace, so I could hit this replace image and it'll put my image there instead. Okay, so that's one good way that you can start as far as your designs. You can edit it a million different ways. This thing is hugely editable for many different purposes. Now you'll want to go over here. What does page 2 look like? You'll click next page. Again, this is where you could possibly add like your own logo along with theirs. If that was important to you, you can put all of your text here, maybe even add another photo on the back if you wanted to, put your headshot, and utilize all of this information as well. I'm not going to get too far into that. I just wanted to show you what is possible through designs. You can design pretty much anything you want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Okay, so here's my design template, just listed 01. I can rename it. Just put command test just listed. Now let's go back to campaigns. To direct mail. We create a new campaign, same way we did before. Select direct mail. And we're going to advertise our listing. Now it says upload a custom template. So use your own pre-made designs. You will need, oops, I did not mean to click that, I'm sorry. You will need a front and back. You can upload JPEG or PDF files. Click here for more information or to download a template. So I would recommend, if you are going to use designs, to click this and download the template in order for you to start from. All right, so let's go ahead and set up this campaign. Now it's going to ask me to drag and drop or browse files. So I can also download postcard templates down here. It'll tell you right here, compact, default, and large, and what the sizes are in order to do this correctly. So don't get frustrated with this. If you don't want to go through all of this, just use one of the templates they provided for you. It's super easy. It'll make your life easier as well. If customizing it is in your wheelhouse and you like that, then just make sure that you're following along with what they give you. And again, you can download the same thing once you get to this screen too. If you didn't download it in the last one, you'll see my downloads are down here. You'll open those up and you'll be able to use those in order to design the correct way. Okay, so you're going to drag and drop the front and drag and drop the back. Once you did that, continue it, open up, you press continue, and do the exact same thing that we did for to the beginning of the video. Any questions on this part, on uploading designs from anyone?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
My question is, so this needs to be uploaded as a PDF or a JPEG. How do we, you showed us how to create design, how do we turn that into a JPEG or PDF that can be saved on the computer to match these dimensions?
So you would just go back to designs. Instead of hitting done, I could have hit download. So for instance, like here's my one, I could hit rename, make a copy here. So I need to click into it. So let me go into it. All right, so this little arrow right here will allow you to download it. Right, you can hit get JPEG, you do PNG, which it won't take because it needs a background. So you do JPEG or PDF. All designs, current design, you want 1 and 2. You could do high resolution if you want to. You can go into publish settings, you can do a lot. Now, the only thing that I obviously can't account for is what size this will download as. And that's the reason I was saying you need to make sure it's sized correctly. So you'd want to download this. So we could download it as a JPEG or as a PDF. You would want to then use the template they provided for you and make sure that it's sized correctly. If you need to resize it, then you'd want to use some form of a resize program, like Justin said, Paint earlier. If I have to resize a photo, I usually use Canva. So one of those would work for you. As long as it's in that size that they are asking for, you can upload very easily whatever you've created.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you just hit start download, it'll download it for you. And you can also download them individually too if you wanted, like to make sure that you have the front saved as one file and the back saved as another file. Hit done. All right, any other questions about direct mail campaigns specifically, anything that I went over? No? Okay, all right, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll end the recording.